Hi, everybody. I am Becky Nova. If you have not seen my videos yet, I am the moderator of the Facebook group, Lady Landlords. Now, if you haven't seen my videos before, a little thing about me is I'm actually a cancer researcher by day, and I am a real estate investor by night. So I like to be able to share a lot of the tips that I learned along my journey and hope that they're able to help somebody else out there. So one of the things that I keep hearing from either meetups that I go to or private messages from our Lady Landlords group or some of the other groups that I'm a part of is I keep hearing from other women like, "Oh, I so wish I could do that." And I really wanted to just kind of put out a message today just saying, "But you can. You can do those things." Now, I never planned on ever being a part of real estate investing. I actually never even wanted to own my own home, let alone own a home that other people would be renting. One of my first YouTube videos at Live Free with Becky Nova, you can hear my story about how my husband and I really just kind of fell into real estate investing and how that's really affected our lives and our financial situation. And I just really want to be able to help other people with that. So if you didn't get to watch that, a quick little synopsis about it is really that, like I said, I'd worked in cancer research. I've been in cancer research for about 13 years now. Um, Years ago, I was really unhappy with my job. I I ended up moving to Europe, so I always apologize to my mother at this point in time and say sorry for doing that. But I made it back, so we're fine. I moved over to Europe, and I used to own a tour company in Spain, and then I bought a restaurant in Portugal. And honestly, long story short, I ended up losing my bar in Portugal. I ended up losing a ton of money. It ended up being a complete disaster. I moved home at like 30 years old and like moved back to my parents' house, trying to figure out what was the next step financially. I ended up accruing a bunch of debt. I didn't really know what I was going to do for work. And I want to share that just because I know that there are people that are in the Lady Landlords group or that are joining us from other places on YouTube or Instagram that are in debt and are sitting there being like, listen, this sounds really fantastic to be able to own properties. And I understand what that could do for me. But, I'm in debt. So I'm not a person that's able to do that. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can change your situation. So I wanted to give you guys a couple little tips on things that you could do to kind of work forward to be able to own some properties. So the first thing that I want you to think about is the idea of replacing the words I can't or I want with I can. And what I mean by that is to really go and pick a small goal that you're able to work towards. Now, I did a video on my YouTube channel, Live Free with Becky Nova. Go and subscribe about what's called SMART goals. And what that does is that really breaks down the best way to be able to formulate goals so that you can really reach them. You want to make sure that they follow a certain system so that you have the best chance of success with those. So go back, watch that video, leave questions there if you have any about what your goals are, and feel free to either put in the comments on the YouTube channel or you can put in the comments in our Lady Landlord Facebook group. You can also write there what your goal is. We're going to be having a thread every week about accountability for people. So it's really going to be able to help you be able to reach that goal. So that's the first tip I have for you. The next tip is try not to compare yourself with other people. Now, I will say I am like the worst with this. I am always comparing myself, and I see people, especially in the age of social media. We sit there and we look at other people and we're like, oh my God, this woman has like the best bikini body, right? Look at her, she gets to travel all the time. She doesn't have to work. I'm clearly not talking about myself, but you sit there and you compare yourself to these other people being like, well, this is really what I want. And first off, I want to say that not everybody on social media has it as fantastic as they say. I am in a ton of different real estate groups and I hear from people all the time, like, oh my God, look how much money I'm making doing this. But when you ask them questions about, well, cool, that's your cash flow, but what's your mortgage payment? Then you kind of realize it's a different scenario. So what I encourage you to do is use the people that you're kind of admiring, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, figure out what exactly what they're doing and what you can learn from that. Sometimes one, you're going to learn from people that they're actually not in as good of a position as they make it out to seem. And two, if you do find a person that really is killing it in the things that you find incredibly important, well, ask them what they're doing. if whatever steps they did, you can probably do those too. So it does not hurt at all ever to be able to have somebody on your side that can really help mentor you and at least give you little tips and tips of the trade to be able to move forward. So instead of comparing, go and learn from that person. Another tip I have for you is really think about what your long term plans are. I feel that a lot of people that I talk to, they want to get into real estate investing. The most number one answer I get when I ask people like why is they just say like, well, passive income. Okay, cool. Listen, I'm in it for the money here too. I have no problem talking about that or stating that fact at all. But there is work that goes into this. We do have to learn. It's not like we just, all of us landlords just sit back and just collect checks. Most of us don't. We have to save up for down payments. We have to deal with evicting tenants. We have to deal with people not paying. We have to deal with damage done. We have to deal with Mother Nature and what sometimes happens to our properties and what costs they are and how to get things fixed and crappy contractors and a ton of things. So really think about what your why is because there are a ton of different ways that you can make money in real estate. And I've put that in some of my YouTube videos, so feel free to go check those out. But you don't necessarily have to be a landlord. Sometimes you can loan people money. Sometimes you can just house hack and be able to rent out part of the home that you're currently living in or another apartment in, say, a duplex or a triplex and make money that way. There are tons of ways to do it, but narrow down what exactly you want in your future and then take the real estate path that's going to get you the closest to that goal. Lastly, think positively. This one also I am not the best at, but I'm working on it, just like the rest of us should be. So what I mean by that is what I was saying before is really kind of get off that whole, oh, I can't do this. You are so lucky that you can do this, but oh, I can never do that. That is not true. One, we have to think about the fact that we actually can do those things. So if you haven't done it, maybe think about doing a vision board, maybe and putting the things that you really want in your life on that. Think about just putting on maybe even the wallpaper on your phone. Just put in that background, something that's really going to inspire you to reach towards your goals every day. Also, I'm going to give a little shout out to the Netflix show called The Secret. It's also a book, people, so you can read it if you want. But otherwise, start by watching The Secret and just really see what else is out there and different options of ways that you can really improve your positive mindset. So those are my tips for you guys today. Have a happy Saturday. Once again, I am Becky Nova. Feel free to join my Facebook group, Lady Landlords, or check me out on YouTube at Live Free with Becky Nova. Thanks and have a good one. Bye.